In life, there's two kinds of projects. There are those that my friends are doing, like buying a home, having a family, and there's mine, which are being at 3 a.m. in the morning, and they're like, let's make a weapon out of scrap metal that I keep under the bed.
I'm not the only one doing that, right?
When I think about it, I think mine are the best. As a blacksmith, I tend to store a shitload of those, with the idea that I swear to myself, one day it will be useful, one day. Well, today is the day. We are making a push dagger, but not something random. Let's make it epic. This is my gold mine. I acquired all of those at family or friend houses. Well, especially their garage in that very case. Actually, my first real knife was made with one of those because at the time I didn't know where to find proper steel that could be hardened, which means that could hold an edge. But there's a trap in there. You see, iron is not that easy to lay your hands off nowadays, like 100% iron. And at the time, it was steel. For those tools, even steel was not invented. I mean on an industrial basis. So we need to test it. And to do that, there's two techniques. The first one is through grinding, because steel will create more spark than iron when you grind it. And why? Well, it's maybe time that we stop talking and start grinding.
Actually, it was common for tools to insert steel in iron body, in your case to create a better edge.
First of all, screw you, smartass, and you're right. But in that case especially, it's not. You see, in this acid, iron and steel react differently. Steel gets darker and iron gets some woody grain. And so in this one, fuck, there's some iron in it. So the question is, should we start again? And by we, I mean me. Well, to be true with you, it depends.
Now I need to check my agenda and Anyway, let's talk about grinding the bevel. And for that, we need to choose between two solutions.
The first one is the flat grind, which is robust, easy, classic. Translation, boring. The second one is the hollow grind, which is sleek, sexy, sophisticated. So as you bet, I took the second one to elevate my craftsmanship. That's a lie. I can't flat grind because my belt sander is cursed. It wiggles around like a drunk man. Left, right, and sometimes this happens. So I use the little wheel attachment, which has the advantage of not going left and right, which also means that if there's no problem with this part, that means that the problem is only in this part, which means it should be easy to fix, right?
You might be thinking, whoa, that's a cool blade. But cool does not equal epic, okay? So we need to make it epic. How do we do so? Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. So I'm gonna draw through things. It will take, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, so stay put. It'll take long.
Here it is, first try. Of course, it took me quite a bit of time to figure out what I wanted to put on it. I have to admit that in a moment of despair, I saw it. I had the vision. Not him, but the pointy stick that they used to poke him to death with, and the holy lance. I think that's the name. Holy spear? Holy spear. Yes, I know it's not exactly the same, but I don't want to get copyrighted by the church, so there's a little difference here and there. And now it's just time to put it on the blade and try to not break the saw while doing it. Then simply lock your afternoon and the one to come, because we're in for a very good time. And forgot those trusty old friends, they are no use right now. I present to you the little guy. They have the characteristic to be easily dull, too small, very fragile, and have great tendency to break. This is only half of the problem, because the only file that I need to make that curve is the only file that I don't own. And you might be wondering, why don't I buy this file? Well, I will bring the counter-argument that I'm broke. Then, that being said, if you look closely at this blade, you might be wondering, how does it connect to the handle? Isn't it a bit thin? And you'll be right, usually a push dagger is the old thing, but the piece of trash that I used was too small. So, I need to find a solution, and I think I got it. I just need to figure out where it is. So, where is it? Here. And by simply using my blacksmith's power, Ta-da! No, that's a lie. I don't have any power. And by simply doing the messiest weld ever and grinding it down, I managed to do that. Now we have a lot of fun thing to do. Before that, there's hand sanding. And I don't want to do it, but now that this is done, it's time to pimp it a little bit with some silver. There's a problem. This is not scrap, okay? This is industrial-based silver, and we want scrap. Well, we will not use that because I said so in the title, this will be scrap. So, instead, we're gonna learn how to make our own silver. And that's great because I got the right video for you. Are you like 99% of the population, lacking the silver mine and the child labor that goes along with it? If that's your case, no problem, I got you covered. I got a few simple techniques that will help you make your own silver. The first one is to go to your grandma's house and then open the jewel box. There you will find silver. And bonus tip, that it is your grandma or somebody else's grandma doesn't really make the difference. But if your grandma only has gold, I have another solution for you. At the next family dinner, when all the nice cutlery is out and everything, simply steal a spoon when no one's looking, or two. Apology if those illustrations are lacking a bit of life. I'm missing family and friends since I told them that I'm gonna make a video on YouTube. But getting the silver was the first part. For myself, I decided to settle a wonderful family heirloom that will soon be melted. So the next question is, how do we melt silver? Anyway, here is the silver, and now I just need to squish it really hard.
You might be thinking that this is very appeasing, that it is a nice manual thing to do. Well, you're wrong. And to understand, it is like literal hell, okay? It is one of the worst decisions that I ever took on the project, because sewing in itself is very enjoyable. A lot of people do, and I do it myself also. But sewing with metal wire, you have no needle to guide the wire. You have to always use little pliers to complain the wire to go in the hole that you want, and it is so easy to break it. You put a bit too much pressure, you break it, because the wire, it's not like the normal size, it is 0.3 millimeters. And for you American, I don't know how much it is, because I don't speak your barbaric language, but it is not long. Which in itself is a good reason to find it very annoying. But you simply need to add that little thing. It takes 3 hours to do it. Per side. When I decided to do it, it was late at night, and I thought, why not do it before going to bed? I don't think it's gonna be that long. Well, I lost my sanity at the moment that the sun rose up, and decided one thing, was needing more wire. Okay, let's make a break. This is a picture, yes, and it's kind of a downgrade of illustration, but there's one good reason. I am totally swimming, like I am under the water. Video editing is so overwhelming, and I forgot to press record for half of the thing that I wanted, so I am left with that wonderful picture to illustrate to you what I was saying. But those are the wire that I was talking about. There's a green stone that just appeared, no, not really, but I only have 2 recording of that, me working on the stone. So there will not be a lot of presentation about it. Just know that there it is. There's 2 more in the handle, and they're 100% legal. It is from scrap because it was an old sharpening stone that was garbage, and yeah, that just reused. And I don't know why the stone looks so fancy, but that's okay with me. And you might be thinking, why more wire? Is it like useful in the design or thing like that? Well, to be true, I have no clue, but one thing I'm certain of is it does look cool. The other thing I'm certain of is that looking cool is great, but being functionable is better. So the problem is that in the push dagger, I have the dagger, but I don't have the push. So now we are working on the handle. We need to talk about fitting, precisely how this part going to this part. On a blade, there's a screw, and if there's a screw, there's a nut, because why did I put a screw in the first place otherwise? But in our case, we got the blade, the screw, the handle, and the nut, and everything is holding together. It is great on paper. But if you think 10 seconds about it, the principle of a push dagger is to drive the pointy thing into your enemy, not to have another pointy thing drive through your hand. So in that very case, this doesn't work. So what can we do? Do we fall into the pit of despair? Do we give up? No, we put the knot in the middle of the handle. But that forces us to create a pocket in the handle. For the metal part, it's not that hard. You see, like once you glue everything, you can do the messiest job ever. Nobody will ever see it. But for the wood, it's totally different. There's actually a lot of tools that can do that pocket properly, but unfortunately, I am possession of none of those. So I had to improvise. I know that every mechanist looking at this wants to unalive himself, but hear me out. For those wondering why this is cursed, this tool is meant to go up and down and be able to handle those kind of pressure. This is the tool that is meant to move the piece left and right, which this tool is not supposed to handle. So there's a very high probability of breaking this while you're doing that.
So I have to be very careful with it. And to be true, it surprised me how easy it was, just moving very slowly and taking some little cuts, and yeah, it worked.
Now it is time to create the knot that will connect the handle and the blade. And I hope this piece of steel is rusty enough to be considered as being trash, and so scrap. Here she is, the bush dagger, the holy bush. We may be not going to go that road, but she's very pretty. And with the assembly montage, I forgot how those stones pop in. I forgot, stupid. But it won't be one of my videos if I used, I don't know, more than half of my brain. So you have to satisfy yourself that she's here, she's wonderful, she's finished. I'm gonna put some more close-up shots so you can see it properly. And yeah, and what more than say than see you in a month and subscribe, please, I beg you.